Okay, good morning, all of you. Okay, my name is Dr. Ravishankar. In this class, we are going to see about what is the introduction to the power electronics. Okay, let me see what is the definition of the power electronics initially. Power electronics is nothing but a application of electronic principle, electronic principles at power level. This is nothing but a power electronics. Another way also we can define this one. It is a science which deals with the application of electronic principles at a power level. Nothing but in an electronic you have seen the diode. The symbolic representation of the diode is this one. This is anode. This is cathode. Inside of the diode, if you see the same thing, this is the structure of the diode. Diode is nothing but a p-n junction. This is p material. This is n material. See here, this is the anode. This is the cathode. This layer. This is the junction. Is simply called as a diode. Now, what is the difference between the electronic diode and power electronic diode? Actually, in the case of electronics, we are designing the diode for low level of voltage and current. Nothing but a signal level. Low level of voltage and current. Simply, we are calling as a low level. Nothing but it is a signal level. Signal is the meaning for the signal is that one. Signal is carries only the information, nothing but it has a very low level of voltage as well as the current. Suppose if you want to design a diode which can withstand high value of voltage and current, nothing but a power electronics. The science deals with that science. It is a science which deals with the application of electronic principles. So we are using electronic principle as a diode, BJT, MOSFET, IGBT, all these devices, only signal level when you're going to study the electronics. But when you come to the power electronics, we are going to design all these devices at a power level. The name itself is their power. Nothing but this power is nothing but a power. The meaning for the power is nothing but a high voltage. Power is nothing but a high voltage and current. Nothing but we can able to design all electronic device at a high voltage and current is nothing but a power electronics. That we are calling as a science. It is a science which deals the electronic principles. You see here you have seen the electronic principles at a power level. Nothing but we can able to design diode, all electronic diode, BJT, MOSFET, IGBT, all these devices at a power level is nothing but a power electronics. Now, so we have seen all the diode, all the devices, nothing but diode, BJT, MOSFET, IGBT. You have studied already in electronics. Now, what we have to do to withstand the same characteristics of the device, to withstand the high voltage and current means here, suppose if we take the example is a diode, here already you have drawn the diode here structure. This is the p-type material, this is the n-type material. This is p, this is n-type material that was shown internally. P-type material is nothing but a more number of holes will be present here, more number of holes. The majority carriers are holes. N-type is nothing but the majority is electrons. So there is some amount of intrinsic. Already have seen how do you get this p-type material means by adding impurities to the intrinsic material. We are adding a impurities to the intrinsic material. Intrinsic material nothing but it is a pure semiconductor material. It is a pure semiconductor material. So depending upon the doping level, see here what is meant by doping. Doping is nothing but a, here we are right doping, here we are writing doping is nothing but a doping is nothing but a adding of impurities to the semiconductor, to the not semi intrinsic semiconductor, intrinsic semiconductor material, semiconducting material. What is meant by intrinsic? Nothing but pure, nothing but a pure. It is a pure semiconductor material. For a pure semiconducting material, if we add the doping, nothing but impurities, then we are getting the p-type material as well as the n-type material. So the doping level only decides whether the semiconducting device can withstand the low voltage or the high voltage. Nothing but if you change the doping level in a diode, so it can able to withstand the high power rating. Nothing but where the voltage and current is higher. Now we are going to see that science is dealing by the power electronics. Now, what is the importance of studying this power electronics means? Whenever you are going to design all electronic devices at a power level means it can able to withstand the voltage as well as the current. Voltage as well as the current. So once it can withstand the voltage and current means we are using that circuit. We are making a one circuit such a way that it can able to use the electrical engineering. Now, what are the different circuits we are studying in this power electronics means? The first one is the rectifiers. So already we know rectifiers, but here this rectifier is nothing but a phase control rectifier. Phase controlled rectifier. Phase control rectifier. The second one is the now before going to discuss about the second one circuit, let me have some idea about the rectifier. Rectifier is nothing but it is a circuit which converts the AC voltage into the DC. But when you come to the suppose if you say the rectifier in electronics, AC signal into the DC signal, because signal is nothing but it has a low voltage and a low current level. But when you come to the power electronics, how we are going to define this diode rectifier means it is converting the rectifier is nothing but it is converting the AC voltage into the DC voltage. But here we are using the word phase control. Phase control is nothing but it can able to control the phase angle between the voltage and current. That's why we are using the word phase control rectifier. So another name for this phase control rectifier is the controlled rectifier. Simple rectifier means output is fixed DC. When you are saying the controlled rectifier, we have a control to change the output voltage for a fixed AC voltage. That we are going to see the next classes what is meant by phase control rectifier circuit, how we are going to see this one, how we are going to uh, operate these circuits. Next one is the DC to DC converters. In some of the application where the fixed DC is available, but the load requires a very good DC, then we can go for we can design the power plant converter with a DC to DC circuit. Nothing but it is also coming out of the DC to DC power tronics, but it is changing the fixed DC voltage to the variable DC voltage. Now third one is the DC to AC. Another name for converter. Another name for this one is the inverter also. Inverter. Nothing but we have a fixed DC voltage that we're going to change the AC voltage. Suppose if you take the example in a rural area where we don't have any power. Suppose if you go for the tribal area where we don't have any power. So by that time, at that case, at that moment, you have to run some AC induction motor or something. AC operated electrical machine. Now what we are going to do? We have taken the DC supply there, nothing but a battery. That we are converting the AC by means of the DC to AC converter. That we are going to give to the induction motors. In the same manner, suppose already very known parameter is the satellites. In case of satellites, also every equipment is powered with a electrical energy. That may be DC or that may be AC. Suppose if you see, we are sending some mission to the another planet where there is no electrical power is available. Now, how all these missions are operating? By means of only the power trunk circuits. Along with the power trunk circuit, we are carrying the sources also. So by means of power trunk circuit, we are getting the required power to the load. And fourth one is now you come to the fourth one. AC to the AC converters. Nothing but another name for this circuit is the AC voltage regulators. AC voltage regulators. Nothing but we have fixed AC voltage that we want to change into the variable AC voltage. Then we are going for the AC to AC converters. It is also high demand in a practically also. Now the last one is the cyclone converters are there. Fifth one is the cyclone converters. Fifth one is a cyclone converters. It is also converting AC into the AC, but nowadays we are not using practically that much the cyclone converters because it has a more disadvantages. Instead of going for the cyclone converter, we are going for some other converter so that it is more efficient. But as theoretical purpose, we are studying the cyclone converters. Okay. Now come to the second one, DC to DC converter. Another name for the DC to DC converter is the choppers. One more name also there, switched mode power converters. Power converters. So what is the difference between the chopper and the switched mode converters? What is the difference means here? There is a slight difference in there. Both are coming under the DC to DC converters only. But in case of chopper, we are using the switch as a SCR. We are using a chop as a SCR. In case of switched mode converter, we are using switch as a MOSFET or IGBT. It has own advantages and disadvantages that we're going to see when you're going to study the detailed explanation of the DC to DC converter. Now let me see some of the applications where we are going to use this applications of power electronics. Power electronics. Let me take the one example. Everyone knows this example, speed control of DC machine. Now, how we are going to control the speed of a DC machine is there are two different speed controls are there. One is two different speed controls are there. One is armature voltage control. Second one is a field flux control. The first one is armature voltage control. The second one is a field flux control. Now let me take the armature voltage control. In case of armature voltage controlling, conventionally what we are doing is that we have a DC supply here. Just we have drawn the circuit. DC supply here. One variable resistance we are inserting in series with the armature. See here, this is the armature circuit. This is the armature. In series with the armature, we are inserting the resistance. This is motor. In this case, we have taken the separately excited DC motor. This is separate excitation for the field winding. For simplicity, this is the armature control. So whenever we are increasing the value of resistance here, the speed of the motor will be decreases. The motor speed N that we are representing N that will be decreases. Now what physically happen means the voltage applied to the armature terminal that we are controlling. that we are controlling by means of this variable resistance. Now, what is the function of this variable resistance means? It is giving the variable voltage to the armature terminals of a DC motor. Armature terminals of a DC motor. Now, here the two things are there. One thing is this resistance is giving the variable voltage to the armature terminal. The second one is the source DC supply. If you observe the source, that is DC supply. But actually, as per India's concern, we generated the AC power, we are transmitting the AC power, we are distributing the AC power. So we have only the AC power only. Now, how do you get this DC power? That's why we can able to convert the AC voltage into DC voltage by means of a powertronic circuit. That is nothing but a rectifier. Just now we have seen. So if we represent here, see the AC voltage. This AC voltage were given to the rectifier. This is a rectifier. So when you are saying the rectifier means it is only diode control rectifier. Nothing but the output voltage is DC, that is constant. Fixed DC voltage VDC. No, but we want to give the variable voltage to the armature winding so that we can get the armature voltage control of a DC motor. Now to get the variable voltage, again we are using here one more circuit, powertronic circuit, that is nothing but a phase control rectifier. This is phase controlled rectifier. So whenever we are using the circuit, the output voltage is DC, but it is variable. See here, the same thing I represented here, some symbol VDC, nothing but that we can able to vary. That we can able to vary. So here one parameter is there, that is alpha, that we are going to see in the next classes. Alpha, by means of this alpha, you can control this voltage, that we are going to give for the, we are giving to the armature of a DC motor. This is armature of a DC motor. This is A, this is AA. This is the field winding. For the field winding, we are giving a separate DC voltage source. This is the motor. Now, this is the conventional method. The first diagram, you see this diagram is nothing but a conventional method. That the figure 1 is represent the conventional. This is nothing but a speed control by means of a powertronic circuit. Speed control by means of a powertronic circuit. So what is the difference between these two methods? Why should you go for the powertronics? Means, see in the first method, you can change the speed of a motor only in steps. Steps only you can change it. Step speed. Suppose if you take the speed of a motor is 1500 RPM. Next we can run at a 1400 RPM. We don't have any smooth control because it is operating manually almost all. But when you come to the powertronics, it is almost all it is operated there. The powertronics we can't operate anything manually. It is automated system. So we can smoothly control in this system. We can control the speed very smooth. Now what is the meaning of smooth? Nothing but a exactly point Suppose if you want to run the motor at a 1402 RPM, you can run it. That is possible only by means of a power electronic circuit. Smooth control, efficiency also more. It is automated system. It is not manually operated. It is automated system. You can go for the automation. Next, one more thing is, now come to the point here. This is one application where we are going to see, where we are going to control the speed of a motor. Here, there are two circuits are there. This circuit and this circuit. These two circuits are belongs to power electronic circuits. Power electronics. This is the one application where we are going to use the power electronics. Nothing but this application is nothing but a DC drives. This application is nothing but a DC drives. Now one more application is there, that is HVDC system. HVDC system. Now what is HVDC system means? High voltage DC transmission. So already we know there are some advantages with the HVDC system when compared to the AC transmission. But even though we are generating power at AC, we are preferring the HVDC system if the distance for the transmission is very higher. If the distance for the transmission is very higher, then HVDC system is more economical than the AC transmission system. Now, when you come to the DC transmission system, HVDC transmission system, at a generating station very far away, that may be the hydro power plant or thermal power plant, whatever it is, we are generating a power only at AC level. Where we are generating a power AC, at the station itself, we are converting this into the DC by means of a AC to DC converter. Nothing but another name for this one is a phase control rectifier. So once we are converting into the DC, now we are transmitting a power long distance at a DC level only. It requires only the 2 wires only. Suppose if you go for the AC transmission, it requires 3 wires. But when you come to the DC, it requires only the 2 wires, positive and negative. Now where we want to utilize the electrical power, again we are reconverting the DC power to the AC power. Here we are giving this power to the loads. So why we are going for the HVDC system is, one is the transmission distance is more. Transmission distance is more means it is more economical. Next, it requires a 2-wire system. Nothing but a length of the conductor is decreasing. One conductor is decreasing means length of the conductor is decreasing. The supporting, we should give some support to that one by means of towers. The supporting strength of the tower also will be decreases. Overall, the cost of the transmission system will be decreases. Moreover, no corona effect. No corona effect. There is no corona effect in DC. But here, the point here is that it requires the 2 converters. If you observe closely here, There are two converters are there. This is one converter, converter 1. This is the converter 2. Both are operating at a very high voltage and current. These two converters are nothing but a coming under the power electronics. Coming under the this is phase control rectifier circuit. Again, here we are converting DC to AC. Nothing but a it is coming under the inverter circuit. Just now we have seen what is rectifier and what is inverter. This is the one more important application where we are going to see the power electronics. Now one more topic is there, that is the AC drive. Just now we have seen the DC drive. When you go for the AC drive is nothing but a third topic is the AC drive. Third example. AC drive. Whenever you are seeing the AC drives, the well-known machine is a three-phase induction motor. This is a three-phase induction motor. It has a 3 wires. There are different speed control methods are there for three-phase induction motor. The conventionally there are different methods are there. The first one is the armature voltage control. Armature voltage control. Next one is the second one is the V by F control. This is very important control. V by F control. Third one is the pole changing methods. Pole changing method. Fourth one is the rotor resistance speed control. Rotor resistance speed control. And fifth one is the slip recovery power. Recovery power speed control. In this manner, there are different methods are there. If you observe the all 5 methods, first 3 methods are coming under the stator side. This is the stator side speed control. Because we are taking some parameters from the stator to control the speed of a motor, so that we are calling it a stator side speed control. If you observe the last 2, 4 and 5, these 2 methods are nothing but a rotor side speed control. Rotor side speed control. So all these methods already we have studied. Now we are going to see how we are going to control the V by F control to the how we are going to apply the V by F control to the induction machine, nothing but induction motor. Now suppose the DC supply is available. We are assuming that the DC supply is available. The DC supply is not able, what we have to do? Available source is AC. That we have to convert it into the DC by means of a diode rectifier circuit, simply calling as a rectifier circuit. So here we get the DC voltage. Now this DC voltage we are giving to the DC to AC converter, nothing but a inverter circuit. So because why we are converting to the DC to AC means induction motor requires a 3-phase AC voltage. three-phase AC voltage. Here. This is the stator of a three-phase induction motor. Three-phase induction motor. The three terminal directly given to the stator of a induction motor. Now here, how do you control V by F? Nothing but how do you maintain this V by F as a constant? That is the point here. Here two parameters are there. One is modulation index. When you're going to study the AC inverters, there we have going to see this modulation index. Nothing but it is going to affect the what is the voltage available at these points. R can take it to the RYP. The voltage available at this point that we can change it by changing the modulation index that we are simply representing as M. That is one parameter we have to control. We can able to control in inverter circuit. So another parameter is the frequency modulation index. Frequency modulation index. So by means of this frequency modulation index, here we can vary the frequency of the voltage applied to the three-phase induction motor so that we can maintain the V by F as a constant. Why should maintain the V by F as a constant? Means there is some advantage there that to maintain the V by F as a constant because the flux in the emission to make it as a constant without losing its capability. Without losing its capability. So to retain the capability, nothing but a rating of the induction motor means we have to maintain the V by F as a constant so that it can able to give the variable speed to the induction motor. That is possible that we can do very smoothly by means of a Powertronic circuit. This is the one block diagram. What we're going to use, what we're going to change the speed of a induction motor. If you observe here, this is the one converter. This is the second converter. Both are coming under the power electronics. Power electronics. Now, one more important application where you are going to see the UPS. So, if your house has a UPS nowadays. So, one more important application is the UPS. UPS. Now, what is the full form for the UPS? Uninterrupted power supply. Uninterrupted power supply. Now, what we are doing here, suppose if you observe in our house, we have a one battery. See here, we have a one battery. This is battery. It is giving a input to the one circuit. We don't know what is the circuit inside, but it is giving input to the one circuit. Now, this output is giving connection to the line where we are connecting a electrical loads. Here we are connecting electrical loads in our house. These are the loads. That may be the fan, that may be the lights, whatever it is. Now here, let we take it is a whatever the loads are available in our house, all these loads are AC loads. So it requires a AC power. So now what would be the circuit? Here the DC voltage, input is DC. Now the circuit should be the DC to AC converter. Nothing but it is a powertronic circuit which converting the DC voltage to the AC voltage, because it is giving a power to the what are the loads are available in our house. This is one point. Another point here is that suppose if the battery only giving the power to the load, then the battery will be discharged. After some time, it does not give any electrical power to the load. Now what we are doing is that we have a AC supply. For every house we have a AC supply that we are going to connect here. Now what happened means, if the AC supply is available, if this AC supply is available, the battery will be charged. Nothing but for charging of battery, this AC power should be converted into the DC power. Nothing but AC to DC. AC to DC. Now, suppose if you want to charge the battery, this AC power should be converted into the DC. That is happened by means of a one circuit. AC to DC is nothing but simply calling as a diode circuit, or can say as a phase control circuit. It's simply called diode circuit. We never use the phase control circuit in UPS. It is diode circuit. Diode rectifier circuit. By means of diode rectifier circuit, we are charging the battery if the power is available. Suppose if the power is not available, the power is not available. Now here it is not giving any power. Now without interrupting the power to the load, this converter here, it has one more converter which is converting into the DC into the AC, then it is given to the load. Nothing but this is nothing but a bidirectional converter. Bidirectional converter. It is operating as a rectifier. When the battery is charging, it is operating as an inverter. The power is not available, and then it is giving power to the load. It is a dual function. See here, this converter is coming under the power electronic converter. So what is that converter here means? This converter. This is coming under the power electronics converter. So everyone knows this well-known application, that is a UPS. Every house is equipping with installing with a UPS with some capacity. How much time we required electrical power, that is depending upon this rating of a battery. That is different study, but here our concentration only on this converter. That is nothing but a powertronic converter. In this manner, nowadays, everywhere, without powertronics, nothing is done in a electrical imaging circuit. Okay, this is very brief introduction about the powertronics. Just we are summarizing the powertronics introduction class. Powertronics is nothing but a power electronics is nothing but it is a science which deals with the application of electronic principle to the power level. There are different types of converters are there. That is a rectifier, DC to DC converter, DC to AC converter, AC to AC converter, and last one is cyclone converter. Nowadays, we are not using the cyclone converter well because of more disadvantages. Now next we have discussed the applications of electronics. First, we have seen the DC drive, how we are going to control the DC motor conventionally in power converter. Next, we have seen the HVDC system, nothing but high voltage DC transmission system, where we are converting the AC power to DC. Again, we are reconverting the DC to AC power, which is given to the load. And third one is the AC drives. So in AC drives, so many machines are there, but we have taken only the three-phase induction motor only. There are different methods are available to control the speed of a three-phase induction motor that we have seen briefly. That is armature voltage control, VBF control, fuel changing method, rotor resistance control, speed control, and slip recovery power speed control. But in this case, we have seen only, we have taken one example, that is VPF control, where we have to maintain the voltage to the frequency of supply applied to the induction motor is constant. That we have seen here. Lastly, we have seen the example as a UPS, uninterrupted power supply. This is a very well application where we are going to use in every house. It is also equipping with a powertronic circuit. Thank you very much.